Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Under the Arch podcast. It's your boys from Eightseven.
Jeez.
First off, me introducing myself. It's Jas. To my left, we got Young Marv, aka Craig, aka the Sleepy CEO, my G.
Legend in the scene, fam.
To the left of him, we have Shades Dan, aka I don't even know what to call him, a horrible boss. I don't know. I'm playing. My brother from another mother.
It's cool, brother.
Of course. Man. And then to the left of him, all the way to the side, cameraman Clive. You know the vibes. Come on, my G.
Hey, man. I like the intro. Intro.
Hey, man. I'm waiting for this moment.
2 years.
Time to shine. All right, so what are we talking about today, boys? What are we talking about?
We got a lot to get into today, man. But I think let's start with Ellen.
Yeah.
She's back on our YouTube and TV screens for those who actually watch TV.
Yeah, so I think the overall theme of this is going to be about accountability, you know?
Facts.
And naturally, with that, let's talk about Ellen. Miss Ellen, who was cancelled. She was cancelled.
Yeah. Legitimate. And that's another chat about cancel culture, but
yeah.
Legitimately cancelled. Doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It literally comes down to the person accepting it or not, because in due time, they'll just come back if they want to. But anyway, regardless of that point, Ellen has released her first video.
It's premiere week.
It's premiere week of season 18 of her show, or season 19.
18, I think. But yeah,
she's doing it for 18. Yeah, I'm not sure. But regardless, she's now made a return to the show. In the sort of build up to the actual premiere, she's now decided to address the several allegations that came out against her show.
She was very quiet this summer.
She was very quiet, yeah. Because when you look back at, there were so many allegations, but the ones that I remember very much about toxic work culture, sexual assault by like top executives on the show, just a sort of insensitive environment, yeah, like a lot of people talking about their trauma being made into jokes,
and her just being very demanding, unable, like very, very demanding boss in the uncomfortable way,
right? So man, like Craig, what are you
trying to do? Like raise the sea, bro.
I just parted the sea.
Young Marv got powers today.
No, I'm saying, bro.
What are you to invert the world, bro?
I actually go to my left. Like you see Craig.
Actually, you know, like that's what I'm saying, man. You know, it's the reverse entropy. You drop something, but then you really picked it up. I understand, man. Okay. You're the protagonist. I respect it.
You're running this protagonist bar again.
Yes.
All right, people. If you've watched Tenet, you know what he's talking about. I've watched Tenet and I don't.
I haven't watched it yet, and I have no idea what he's on about.
Fam, it made millions.
Yeah.
In COVID, I'm making these bars. I can't make any other bars because it's past that season.
But yeah, Tenet, protagonist, Ellen. Let's get back to her. So, premiere week, she's now addressing this whole thing.
Yes.
The workplace culture and everything.
Basically, all the allegations. She had to address it.
Yeah, dude.
She couldn't do her show without addressing the situation.
That's true.
Like, because she had to set the peep the whole summer.
Yeah. I think the truth of it comes down to, what did you think about her comments? Like, do you buy what she said, or?
I'm gonna preface this by saying I haven't heard everything. Mm-hmm. So if I sound out of tone, it's because that's what it is. But
right.
There wasn't a real apology. Mm-mm. There was an apology, but it wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't it was the stuff happening that should never have happened.
Yeah.
Not I'm sorry, this stuff has happened that should never have happened.
So basically, apology wasn't genuine. It was just like
no, it wasn't her.
Yeah.
I like what's come out is like the people who, like the victims, are saying like it didn't feel genuine to them. It felt like it felt like getting this incident out of the way before premiere week comes around.
So basically just brush it under the carpet, new show,
and
she's good to go.
But doing enough to sweep it under the rug.
But the issue is that it was never going to come across sincere on live television on a premiere week.
No. It should have been done out of it.
This thing could have happened publicly as an address. But what should have happened, she should have had the chat with everyone who was the victim, so to speak.
Right.
Privately.
Right.
This same thing should have happened privately.
Of course.
And then happen publicly. I don't think it happened privately.
Or if she wanted to do it publicly, she should have gotten, is it Liana? Is that her name? The black lady who does like the whole reconciliation.
Oh, yeah.
That would have made for amazing television.
Oh, wow.
Just to sit
Those
down,
two characters are,
and then it would just be like her and Liana sitting on the couch, just going through her perspective on things, and then Liana bringing in questions and comments from
Yeah.
That would have. I mean, some people could have still called it fake, whatever, but I think that would have been a good way of getting it out the way.
Yeah.
Effectively, the intro for the show is, look, I'm just doing this. So
Well, it's the best. It's the best attempt.
Marshawn Lynch thing. Yeah. That's literally what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think for me, when it comes down to this, the question you always ask is what makes a good apology, and I feel like in conversations I've had with Daniel, the thing that always comes back to us is Logan Paul's Suicide Forest apology and how he went about that. First and foremost, let's acknowledge the Suicide Forest thing was a mad thing. Like,
he made a severe and serious lapse in his judgment.
Major lapse in judgment. But how he handled it, though.
See what? It wasn't the initial apology. It was a documentary.
Yeah.
That for me, and then how he's lived life since.
Yeah.
Like whether you like the guy or not, you can say he tried to change.
Yeah. Because the truth with a lot of these things is that it comes down to. It doesn't come down to what your apology is. It comes down to changed behavior. Right?
Yeah.
So my thing is, with Ellen's big thing, like this big production she has going on, will you see changed behavior like from the top down, from her to these new executives? Because I believe she fired the three that have been accused of the stuff.
She made someone an executive who used to do like the musical stuff in between.
Okay.
He's now a top executive.
Okay.
For her, so that's happened. And he's a good guy to put in there.
Yeah.
If you're unaware, he did step up. But yeah, like
the black dude.
Yeah.
I swear.
Yeah, I think he's an executive now. So like one of the
interesting.
There's been a genuine shift, and I think he's a good guy to have in there from what I've seen. So
yeah, but I think with this stuff, it's not what you say; it's about what time will show. That's what we need to wait on.
Well, that's what we can do, man. Time reveals everything. Do you know what I mean? So.
But the victims are still going to be suffering, having trauma after everything that's happened to them.
Yeah,
but she can't. I mean, to be fair to her, she can't do much about that.
To be
at this point, the damage is done. So
to be fair, what's like an ideal? What does redemption look like to the victims? Ideally, like her being shut down, that still doesn't fix anything. You know what I'm saying?
They're still going to be hurt. So
yeah,
she has to like find a way how she can talk to them and see how she can bridge a gap and find a way how she can. Make sure that she can get a good relationship with them and try and sort out the issues that they had.
Well, I don't think that would be a good relationship. She just has to end it with respect.
Yeah.
And make sure they can get hired to other companies, because that's the real question.
Yep.
What's the damage that's been done?
Yeah.
For their career prospects going forward, are they still in Hollywood? Do they have to leave?
Are they get blackballed?
Yeah, I get blackballed.
Because there's a good chance their names are out there now.
Of course.
So now everyone knows.
Definitely.
Don't hire this one. Don't hire that one. So,
from like your perspective, Craig, like you know, we obviously have Eightseven. What would, if that was to happen? God forbid.
Yeah.
What would you do? How would you handle it?
I'd have to speak to somebody about it.
Who? Somebody like who? Like not the person, but like who? What kind of person are you speaking to?
Maybe a pastor.
Why a pastor?
Because he would be the best person to speak to, or like a mentor, and get his view on what I should do, or what action should I take, and how to dissolve the situation.
Clive, what would you think to do? I'm saying it's like we don't have this issue, but I'm saying like because the problem is like this situation isn't new to big companies. Do you know what I mean? Like anyone who's worked in an inner city company or big company, this happens a lot.
Yeah. It happens on companies on every level, to be fair. The minute you have multiple employees, this thing has
and that's the thing. So I'm not saying the whole the allegations and the length they went to, but I'll be straight up, like I've had a moment where like I was uncomfortable or approached in an uncomfortable manner at one point. And there's not really much you can do but try and get your boy to help bail you out. Like literally, like it's horrible. So like as I'm asking the question, like what would you do if we were ever to be faced with a case like that? What would you do?
I think that's one of the it's one of those things which like you would never want to happen.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, like I would feel like if it's leveled against me, I would feel like I've betrayed so many core values that I stand for as a person.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to ever feel like I've taken advantage of a person in that way. I wouldn't want anyone to feel like because at the end of the day, when things like this happen and the way it's come out, it clearly means that they feel like they can't even communicate to you on any level to show, okay, this is what I feel's happened. This is like, because a lot of these things, like, it can be little build-ups, escalates and snowballs. But if someone doesn't even feel comfortable enough to even approach you and say, look, X, Y, Z, that's massively bad. So I think the first thing I'd probably do is I would probably take a lot of time to just reflect on exactly what's been said. I would try and reach out to the person, and at least in as much as they'd feel comfortable to get a picture of what's happened from their perspective, get a better understanding of where I've gone wrong, and then try and address it the right way. If it means that I need to just step away for a while, then I'll do that. If that's the best course of action, of course I'd speak to mentors and advisors and get an additional perspective. But I think the first thing, it would hit to the core. Yeah. So I would need to take a time out to say, okay, let me really take this in, like, because I don't want to, underplay
the situation
at all. I wouldn't want anyone to feel like, what they've been through has been diminished or anything. Right. I'd really want to take it in properly, and get a full picture of everything before proceeding. If after looking at everything, I feel like the perspective or the angle is wrong, then by all means, it's a whole different
conversation.
Yeah, how I would approach it then is different. But yeah, because I think we've seen that a lot in recently, like people that are accused of stuff and it's not true, and how people respond to being accused too doesn't always really weigh up with the weight of what they've done. Yes. And also that's another thing, like what the allegation is, that would again determine the proportion of how you respond as well.
Yes.
Right. I agree with that. I mean, for me personally, I think my answer is just sort of in line with the Cancel Culture podcast that we did a while ago.
Check it out, folks.
Finding the link below in the description and all that. You know the vibes.
You're trying.
Oh, YouTuber like.
You're trying.
Yeah, I'm trying. But yeah, no, in line with my answer that I gave back then, there's two perspectives. There's the perspective of if I hear someone else has done it, in which case I will, again, in Eightseven, we're like a pretty close-knit group. So I feel like have the relationship with everyone here where it's like I can sit down with you as an individual, discuss what you've done, hear your side of it, and then just sort of deduce, get to my own conclusion type
cool
of thing.
BS or back 'em.
Yeah, cool BS or back 'em. That's basically what it comes down to. If I call BS, I'll be like, straight up, you have to go. There's zero tolerance for that type of thing. So if it's about me, again, similar to what Clive said, I'll have to sort of, again, I'm lucky at this stage in life. I've had no type of thing ever levied against me, and I haven't put myself in the position to ever have that happen as of yet. So, I don't know. Just to imagine that had something like that ever come up for me, I would just want to, sort of look at the backlog, sort of evaluate my behavior. Again, wanting to get in contact with the person, with the accuser, is a key thing because you just sort of want to hear their perspective. But there's also the thing about understanding why they wouldn't want to talk to you. Because it's like, to them, and it was also like, I'm not going to be so naive and like ignore the whole thing about they could just be lying to try and gain something. But with the idea that they have an honest gripe against me, I'd want to get in contact with them, find out what it is, figure out if it's a misunderstanding or if it's a genuine mistake on my end, figure that part out. If it's genuine mistake on my end, I'll be like, okay, fair enough. I'll take a step back. For the sake, if it happened within Eightseven, I'd leave because obviously I'd want the group to continue going and I wouldn't want to sort of just be
like a dark cloud over
source of negativity towards the group. So I just remove myself from the whole situation. And if it's a misunderstanding, I would just try and let them understand where I'm coming from while not saying that their feelings aren't valid. But then also just being like, how can we go forward from here in a way that makes you most comfortable?
I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that. It's tough.
It's very tough, yeah.
I mean, the thing that I found is the initial silence was a good thing.
From Ellen, you mean?
Yeah, like don't talk, because I think what we've seen is too many people have come out and talked off the jump.
Well, you can't jump the gun. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that was fine. I think for me personally, if it's me, I'm gonna have to break it down and see, as everyone said, like, did I do it? Did I not? What's the actual situation? If I did, I'd walk off myself. Yeah. I'm not even hanging about. Well, at least step back for a while. Didn't, then it's a whole different chat, because I might have to Justin Bieber it and just be like, nah.
Oh, no.
These allegations ain't gonna run.
If it's WASP, yo, the way I'm pulling up, yo, bro, you better pray, yo. I'm pulling up. Are you done, fam?
But I think the whatever it is, the biggest thing is to handle it with care.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm not on the cancel culture thing, as I mentioned before. So I'm all for growth in multiple different ways. Sometimes growth means stepping away for a while.
Yep.
But you're never really. I mean, the human race is flawed. So,
yeah. I feel like this whole Ellen thing, anyway, it's just sort of just confirmed once again things that we've spoken about for years now, where it's like this cancel culture thing's BS. There's no weight to it. Because literally, cancel culture is a two-part. In order for cancel culture to succeed, it's a two-part thing. People have to announce that you're cancelled, and you have to accept it and then leave. I'm sorry, and then leave, because you can accept it and then be like, okay, I'm cancelled. I'm gonna still keep doing this and watch what happens.
The truth is, no one's really cancelled, man.
No, cancellation comes down to your
unless you're Wiley or Katie Hopkins. That's a chat for a different day. But that's a chat for a whole different day. And even then, I have my problems with both. Like more one more the other, but I have my problems with it
naturally.
In regard to all of this, though, I feel like Ellen's like a microcosm for like everything. The government's mishandlings,
let's talk about it, yeah.
Multiple, like, this isn't the last time we're going to hear about. This year's been very dark in regards to everything being released. People be acting out, companies acting out, governments acting out, like Dominic Cummings going for drives. Like, so I feel like it's just been like, it's one big mess in regards to how things are handled. So I guess, like, question I asked in terms of from everyone here, like, if you compare Ellen to the government, obviously there's two extremes. So let's assume there's two extremes off the jump. So no one comes after me. But also so that we can like look at it from an honest and objective perspective. Why do we think that we've had two massive failings on very different fronts? Like,
in terms of how we managed the pandemic and everything?
Everything, man.
I think it just comes down to people not wanting to be upfront with what they want to do. They just want to be vague. Like I've said so many times before, they want like strict enforcement on vague rules. It doesn't add up. You know what I mean?
I think people are just afraid to be wrong.
Yeah. Yep.
So when you look at like the government's handling of COVID-19,
it's been the great joke though.
Oh yeah, like I said, like, Boris's comedy set every single time he steps up.
It's a movie in 5 years.
I just don't understand. Like from the very beginning, the refusal to do anything significant, and then like taking extreme measures when things get really bad, and then reopening everything, sort of. And I mean, what I find really interesting is when you look at the rise in cases that we've had, it kind of nicely correlates with the whole eat out to help out, the reopening, all these little things that have been done to try and restart the economy, which was needed. It almost feels like those measures were just put in probably maybe even a month too soon. Like maybe if we started to do eat out now, as opposed to then, maybe the cases wouldn't have bumped as much as they have done.
Yeah,
maybe. I think so.
I mean, it's the extremes for me, because when did everything sort of get reopened? July.
Yeah, June they were discussing it. July they opened it.
Yeah, so July they reopened it, because I saw like this comedy skit, right, where it's like August 2020. What are you doing inside? Come on, there's a world to explore out there. You've been locked up for so long. Come on, come out, have fun. Eat out to help out. September. Oi! What do you think you're doing? get back inside. And the guy's walking with a belt, get back inside. It's like, okay, so no, go ahead.
I think Boris wants to lock us up for winter, man. Lock us up for winter again, and then summer again, open back us, go back out again. Like,
yeah, man.
It doesn't really make any sense. Like, I think they were very slow at doing certain things, and it's cost us now, and all people are suffering.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people's mental health is going to be a massive issue with this next. If they have another lockdown,
on a serious, I think it's an issue now.
On a serious, it's going to get worse.
Yeah,
because when at work, it's just bad. Last time they had a lockdown, people were fighting for tissues.
They fight for them now.
And it started again.
Man.
People are panic buying.
Who dropped the pick in the? That's cute.
He went back to back.
I was like, yo, man.
Sainsbury's today.
Oh man, I felt like CJ, but shit.
But the worst thing is, the UK make tissues, so I'm not gonna run out.
You know what? The issue, but the initial issue wasn't in the UK. It was somewhere in Australia where they ran out of stock, and then the UK oversold their stock over there, and it short-circuited the stock here.
Like at some point they did make the connection. Okay, they ran out over there, but we make it here,
so we're not gonna run out. Logical.
But you know what the thing is? I think the supermarkets said it best at the time when the first lockdown happened, and I'll get back to the initial extremes in a second. But they said if everyone calms down for 2 weeks, we'll be fine. Everyone calm down for 2 weeks. Did you ever have any more stock issues the entire lockdown? No.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Because it's just chaos. Everyone panics because they cause panic.
But then, is it not the work of the media to make people panic though?
It's the work, yeah, but that's fine. But the media have always been giving out bad news. They are known for giving bad news.
True, and we are known to listen to them regardless of what history tells us.
My advice to everyone is don't listen to what they have to say.
That's been
but you need to. Do you know what?
You need to filter.
But you need to listen, but then take the important parts and don't listen.
But you know why you can say that though? Because we've grown up in an era where we don't have to listen to the news to get information.
Yeah.
You're looking at people that have had to listen to the news for like 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
Where that and it either was reliable or played on reliability, and so people take it on board as real information because that's where they get all their stuff.
Well, our parents' generations are much more trusting of the media than our generation.
We don't trust the media
because we've grown up in a different era of it, where we've had the internet be explode the way it has. We've had the MySpace, the Facebooks, the Twitters, your other sites where you can get your information, your YouTubes, your Daily Motions, wherever it is. So you don't have to rely on.
Well, you can pick your news source and then sort of, pick and choose what you want to believe
deuce, man. Even having 900 channels, that wasn't happening back in the 80s. No. Do you know what I mean? So, but in regards to the two extremes, I think everyone said the best at Boris's vague thing.
Yeah.
I'm a conspiracy guy in it. So I have two conspiracies.
Go on.
Okay, go
One, no one's cried about climate change this year. Remember how they were saying the world's going to end in 2050 because the whole thing, and I know you got a point, but let me land. Let me land. And then no one's on the whole chaos in it. Do fact check me, please.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it in the news as much this year. And remember when lockdown started in China, you could see Wuhan. Yeah. You couldn't see it for
all of a sudden the skies are cleared up.
Yeah, literally. That's one.
Yeah.
I think the setup. But two, even though I understand COVID is a very dangerous thing, and if you've lost people to COVID, rest in peace. We God bless and everything.
Yeah.
But I think what I've never understood, one is that they locked down too late because the initial surge was because they locked down too late. So the initial damage was done because of the delay.
Boris Johnson naivety.
Yeah, the first month of everything that happened with COVID was because we locked down too late.
Yep.
The eat out scheme, Boris had to do it. Because if you weren't going to check your advisor, you had to let us back out because none of us cared anymore. I know the minute I heard Dominic Cummings went for a 200-mile drive, test his eyesight, bruv. What is he?
For an eye test,
I was and the thing is, it wasn't even true because we found out later the police had been called around to the house because he went on a trip.
Absolute man.
So we heard that stuff as well. So once he did that, you had to open it up. Cool. That's number one. He had no choice because remember at one point Boris was trying to delay opening the country because he'd gone through COVID.
Yeah.
So cool.
Did he?
No, he did.
No, he did. We know for a fact he did. His hairline's still there, but I don't know.
I mean, he looks rough year round, but
yeah. But that's cool. So we had to open. The problem I've got is that with the vagueness of the rules, it's led him to blame us for his incompetence. Like,
and that's where the accountability thing comes up.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, France, Spain. I need this to be ended right now, yeah, from every person who's on the government side in it. We have the worst rates of infection and death in Europe.
Yep.
Wow.
I don't want to hear it no more. We're like 4th or 5th in the world for the worst COVID care on the planet.
But the worst thing that people were traveling back and forth as well. People were going on holiday, coming back.
See, the traveling is not a bad thing, but there's no tests at the airports.
That's what I'm saying. That they could have spread it got it from wherever.
But we never closed the borders.
They never closed. Yeah, the borders was never taken seriously. So
Yes.
things were just always going to run.
So my thing is, be incompetent. Don't blame us.
No, don't blame us.
Yeah.
As Clive says, it's not. People are so scared to be wrong because of the backlash. Do you know what the truth is? That when someone admits they're wrong, you know what? Like, because a lot of the stuff has been coming out because people haven't admitted they're wrong and they've been exposed for it. And when you tend to admit you're wrong, yes, there's backlash, yes, there's heat, but you know what? It lasts a whole lot shorter.
Yep.
When it gets exposed anyway. Because what's in like 10 years time? We have to look at the worst government potentially of all time.
Of course.
Yep.
Okay, that's my rant over now. I'm done. I'm done.
I hear that. No, Clive, do you have something?
Worst of all time. It's been. We still have Tony Blair's.
Ooh,
that's true. Blair
was.
I mean, he did
Blair
give
was
us.
elite for all the wrong ways.
He did give us recession.
But in terms of the climate change thing, there actually was these two artists, Gan Golan and Andrew Boyd, installed on Manhattan's Union Square a climate clock on the 17th of September, which is literally counting down how many years we've got left until there's the point of no return with climate change.
Okay.
Apparently, as of that date, we have 7 years, 103 days, and 15 hours or so.
7 years left.
7 years.
So 7 years to basically get our stuff together and really kind of cut back on what we've been doing and put things in place to fix things.
7 years.
Now, I don't know how they've calculated that time.
I was going to say.
It's to do with greenhouse gas emissions.
Okay.
So if it continues at the current rate, then the temperature will go up by 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit, and then that would be pretty bad.
The problem is that America, China, and India are single-handedly the 3 most dangerous for greenhouse gases.
Yeah.
Like, the rest of the world can stop. If those 3 countries continue, they emit more than everyone else combined.
Yeah.
But you're right about your point about the government, because I don't think I've heard them mention climate change being green or anything.
Nope.
At all.
It's just sort of like,
yeah.
It's going very quiet.
COVID's been a very good distraction for them in that regard.
And Brexit, because that's gone to complete to pot.
Yeah.
Oh, no, because in the news they've been talking about, like, a lot of politicians have come out and said that they're not in support of the
law change.
The negotiation changes that Boris Johnson and the government have made. Like Theresa May's come out against him, John Major, and of course Mr. Blair. That twat has also come out and said some stuff as well. I mean, Mr. Blair, like, to be honest, like, you have no credibility as a human being, much less a leader, a thought leader. So, like, your opinion is like capped at 5.5%.
4.
Whether you're accurate, whether what you have to say is accurate or not, 5.5% is you're a liar.
The only thing I have against Boris and the Brexit thing, I think, I had a chat with my mum actually, and she changed my perspective a little bit. So Boris made us sign the deal. For that, he's a twat.
Yep.
But what he's doing with the law changes is he's basically telling the EU, you can't bully us anymore.
Okay.
You can't bully us anymore, because how can you try and tell, like, because I wanted to stay in the EU, quite frankly. I was enjoying traveling around.
Yeah.
But like, that is important, because, like, if you look at it honestly, this deal wasn't going to work out for the UK anyway. It's a horrible deal for the country that's the 3rd or 2nd highest contributor to the EU outside of Germany, who need the EU. So, like, it's a whole mess.
Yep.
Like, the whole thing's a mess. The EU hasn't trying to flex, but let's be honest, outside of the first 3 countries, tell me how many other countries give enough money to actually make sense. We bailed out Italy, we bailed out Greece.
Yep.
Like, I get the frustrations people have had. I get things being poorly managed.
Yeah.
From both sides, because it's ego. It's an ego battle.
Well, a lot of these accountability chats that we're having, more time, it comes just down to ego.
Ego,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. I think that's why it is important to hold people accountable. But that's my whole thing, though. Like,
what does that mean, though?
What does that mean to hold someone accountable? What does it mean? Because again, if we're looking at the Ellen situation, if we're looking at this situation with Boris and the government, we're saying we're holding them accountable, but what does it actually mean if nothing changes?
Well, I think ultimately leadership requires standards. When you step into a position of leadership, responsibility, or authority, however you want to distribute that, it requires standards. Not everyone has it in them to lead. That's fine. Yeah. Some people are great number twos. Some people are
Shout out
great
Paul
number
George,
one.
yep.
Some people are great number threes. But what you have here is ultimately within, I think, how we position things in society, the celebrity worship era is probably going to go now, because Ellen, I mean, even the way how all her celebrity friends defended her and backed her up with their clearly pre-written
statements,
agent-written statements, which had no emotion to it, no context, no thought of, but what if Ellen's wrong? What if Ellen's done something wrong?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe she should be held account. Now, we can argue about how it was done, because I think cancel culture in and of itself is a problem.
Yep.
But if these people didn't even feel comfortable enough to report it within the confines of the show to get justice, then they took it one step further.
Well, I mean, the celebrity backing she got reeked of, well, she was nice to me, so this can't be true.
All their statements are the same thing. Oh, she's lovely, I've never had an issue with her. Well, of course not. She's not going to treat you badly, Kevin Hart.
You know what I'm saying? No Demi Lovato.
Twat.
She's not, you know what I'm saying? No Kevin Hart. She's not, you know what I'm saying? Just got to talk down to him. Nah, he's not going to treat you badly. You know what I'm saying? No Kevin, he's not.
But you know what, though? There are, in that mass of defenses, there was a video that came out. I can't put a compilation together. Of her, every guest that's gone at her, and it is not pretty.
Her tactics of using comedy to do some madness is actually, I've forgotten. There was a thing with the Mariah Carey thing, where Mariah Carey was pregnant, and she was, but didn't want to tell anyone she was pregnant, and Ellen was sort of trying to bully her or something. And was like,
well, she basically trapped her into admitting it.
Yeah, it was basically
she brought on wine.
She was like, oh no, if you're not pregnant, have some wine with me, She's like, nah, I'm not really feeling like drinking. No, come on.
Do you know what Mariah should have done? She did
Mariah should have done what Mariah should have done. Right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Exactly.
So listen, I don't play that.
I don't play them games, fam.
And you know what's interesting about the situation? That's on camera in front of all the world to see.
Yeah.
And if you take that in isolation, of okay, that's how you treat someone that's supposedly your friend, because all these guests are her friend. This is my biggest friend. If that's how you're going to treat your friend on camera, how do you treat your employees behind public?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which is why the whole how she handled this comeback, to me, doesn't really wash. It just felt like I'm a narcissist. I don't give a shit about your opinion. I don't care how you feel. Whatever. I'm back now. Yeah, I had a really rough summer, didn't I? We all had a bad
I didn't like that statement as well, because I'm like, we're dealing with COVID. Everyone's having a bad summer right now.
I get it was done in jest, but poor taste.
But that's what I'm saying, though. But that when you're of a certain position, of a certain elite tier, it's very difficult for you to understand that, you know what, maybe your life isn't that bad.
Yeah.
Maybe your check's still coming in the mail, and maybe you're still making most in the top 2% of the planet.
Yeah.
And not only that, it kind of echoes what Boris said in the last briefing prior to this recent update about we're going to close up stuff early. He was like, yeah, I understand that some of the messaging has been a bit confusing. Big man, you made the briefing. You are the one who gave us the direction. How can you say, I understand it was a bit confusing?
A bit.
Where that's the thing, it's where there's because what I would have liked if he'd said, you know what, we'll hold our hands up. We haven't been clear enough from the beginning. We've given you guys information that's required a lot of interpretation and not a clear black and white. There's been lots of shades of grey with the government's brief. Even them would and could and should and must. All of it is shades of grey. And I think with this, one thing I will say that's probably good about their current decision to have a 10 p.m. lockdown and stuff is we're getting to black and white in terms of what's not good is explanation as to why behind the numbers, like why 6, why 10 o'clock, why all this kind of stuff. But we're getting to a black and white of this is what we need to do. And if you don't do it, this is going to be the consequences.
Yeah. The problem is we needed this months ago, not now.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
But do you know what the problem is with holding your hands up is? You have to change.
Yeah.
Of course. 100%.
You can't be accountable and not change.
Which is why a lot of these egocentric people in power don't actually acknowledge their wrongdoing. They can acknowledge wrongdoing, but while avoiding placing the blame on themselves personally, because doing that acknowledges, okay, I found something wrong with me. I now have to change it. Ellen didn't say anything. She did try and
she danced around it.
She danced around. She did admit that taking the title of being the what did she say, the be kind person,
yeah,
or being that was wrong because she has her off days and that. She did acknowledge that, but she didn't say at any point that I'm aware of, because again, I haven't seen the whole thing, but from what I have seen, I didn't see her actually acknowledge that. No, I treated people poorly. I like on my off days, I did a madness. Like, hands up, I'm working to change that. I didn't see that, and so because of that, it's like, okay, where's the actual effort to try and make a change coming from? Then it's like I don't see
it doesn't sit right.
She was just trying to protect her brand.
Yeah,
and her bag. The bag and the brand.
Which is what
the bag and the bag and the brand, fam.
That's what it comes down to with a lot of these people, man. The bag and the brand. Just try and secure those, and you're good to go.
Well, that's the biggest problem I've got with a lot of this stuff, and I think like we all have things to work on, and we all have our imperfections, and we all have our things which, if that we'd want to change and we want to improve on and stuff, and there are difficulties in dealing with that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I understand all of that. However, when you're forced to deal with it in a public setting, there's things you just have to do.
Yeah.
100%.
And she did almost all of them. If we look at it honestly, yeah. In terms of like the first going quiet, that's kind of what you should do after a situation goes wrong.
Yeah.
You make your statement and you go quiet.
And you rebuild yourself,
and you sort yourself out, because
try and repair your reputation.
Yeah, because what I don't want to see the Sonic the Hedgehog reaction time. No. Like, we ain't trying to do a Usain Bolt reaction time speed like 9.69 seconds or whatever it is, bruv. We're good.
Your response should take care, like,
because right now what she tries to do coming back is trying to do damage control. She tried to rebuild her reputation to come back and try and see if she can rebuild, so get back the fans back on her side again. And
the thing is that there's always going to be an element of you having to do that. Let's not get it twisted.
Of course, in anything you do.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect. We're all going to make mistakes.
Yeah,
but it's the way how you make your mistake and how you come back.
And the thing, there was, not to defend her, but there's no perfect way to do this.
No.
You were never going to get it 100% right.
No.
And some of the changes she's made to the backroom staff looks like there's actually some progression there, but I don't know the full picture for sure, so don't quote me, because again, just trying to live out here, you know.
Yeah,
of course.
But they're like, it's just sometimes I wonder if people come out and they just want to defend themselves because they've just felt like they've been backed into a corner, and not because they've like had the inner. Because I don't know what it feels to have like millions of people tell me I'm trash.
True.
Or
that
come after me.
That is true.
And after, like, yes, I would prefer a better apology. But at what point do you start to wonder, hey, look, I got backed into a corner, I'm just going to come out swinging?
And you also have to use the context of, for 17, 18 years, she was told how great she was. Just for out of nowhere, everyone to now be like, remember how great we said you were? Nah, you're a horrible person.
Yeah.
Imagine what that does to someone, because again, 18 years of being told you're great, there's no way you don't build an ego.
Yeah.
And now the ego just has to go all the way down. You have to humble yourself to that level out of nowhere.
It's a flip of a coin, isn't it? Or a flick of a switch.
Yeah.
One minute you're on top of the world, then the next minute crashing down.
Yeah, that's how fast this flame. That's how fast this flame.
That's how the fame game is.
Yeah, man.
Today you're somebody's hero. Tomorrow you're somebody's zero.
Literally.
Boss, I see you.
That's a bar. I see you, but I'm not a rapper, yeah?
I'm
you
not
see
a rapper,
guy, bro. Young Bob back in the studio. We're in the studio, bro.
Yo, man.
Put him in the booth.
I see.
Like, it's good part 2, fam.
Hey.
Oh, man. 8-7 bars coming soon.
I was saying, bro. The CSC, my boy, bro.
But yeah, no, I think the main takeaway I have from this whole thing, and with all the stuff that when it comes to accountability, words don't determine. Words mean nothing to me. Change does. Words will not convince me that you have changed. Time will. As of now, whether it's Ellen, whether it's Boris, whether it's anything, I will take your word at face value and be like, okay, show me. and then leave it up
That's
to time.
all. That's all you can ask, man.
Yeah,
like I think
100%.
with anything, that's all you can ask. Like true change. Yes,
Yeah.
there's certain scenarios, certain situations where once it's done, it's over. But at the same time, that's all you can really do.
Yep.
And I don't know. This apology from Ellen is gonna look interesting in about a year.
Given time, yeah.
Because we're now watching her more than we've ever watched her in the past.
We let a lot of things slide with her before. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see. The level of scrutiny she'll be under.
Yep.
Again, I don't understand that level of success.
No.
So I don't know how I'd handle it at that level.
Yeah.
I don't, because the truth is she probably wasn't dealing with much of her show.
No.
Make sure other people doing stuff.
And
That's why they had this element of power where they thought they could just move on madness.
I'm not surprised by it.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
Maybe all she does, maybe she just preps for the show, have her questions ready, ask the questions, interview the guest, and then goes on with the show.
Plus, she also works for someone.
Yeah.
It's not her channel.
No.
Everyone has a boss.
Everyone's got a... Well, we don't.
That's
No.
true.
It's cool. It's
Our
cool.
boss is God.
Hey.
I like that. That's good. That's good.
But yeah, man, like it's gonna be interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
What's your final take, sir? You know?
About the whole thing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think to be honest with you, she's done what she has to do now. She's trying to rebuild
Yeah.
and come back. Let's see how, if people would tune in again and listen to her stuff, or people will be turned off by her. Because sometimes we're very quick to, if someone makes a mistake, we're very quick to
Cancel them.
cancel them and chop them up and put them in a bin.
Yep.
And go on to the next person until that next person makes a mistake, then on to the next person. So I feel that maybe if she's genuine with her apology and she wants to make change and she's made changes, maybe we could give her a second chance. Maybe.
I mean, the truth is,
Maybe.
it's not. I hear you on that. Yeah. No, I can finish your point.
Maybe,
point,
but the people that who were hurt by who were hurt because of what happened, it'll take them a long time to heal and get back to where they were first before. If they get another opportunity, if they can ever heal, and if they get another opportunity to work in the industry again. That's my honest opinion. Will they get that chance again to work in their field?
Will they want to work in the industry again?
Yeah, to
Maybe
be honest,
they could
something
be
like that
traumatized
could,
like that.
yeah.
They might want to say, no, I don't want to do this anymore.
Something like that
I'm
could
done.
shock you out of the industry.
Of course,
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, all we can do is pray for those.
Just pray for them
and
they
send
heal.
love to those and etc.
Absolutely, yeah.
For all the real stories, because like let's call a spade. For every there were probably a couple of stories in there that weren't true. Like
Bad actors as usual.
yeah, so let's call a spade in that too. Let's cover all bases. But yeah, perspective is going to be he knows it too. Perspective itself is going to be very, very key. So let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Clive, any final points?
Yeah, I think 2020 has exposed a lot.
Yep.
Because we're at home, we've been. I think
Things are under a lot more scrutiny right now.
Yeah, and I think that people are starting to hold people to the standards that they should be held to. I wouldn't say to a higher standard, but I think to the right standard.
Yeah,
I agree.
Like I said, the hero worshipping of celebrities, I think that era we're getting very close to dying out. I mean, some of the saltiness I saw from one particular YouTuber on Twitter over another influencer's giveaway yesterday was embarrassing. She should be ashamed of herself. But
Is this what I think? 1 minute.
don't know.
Okay,
Off
I
camera.
think I know about this one.
yeah, I think it doesn't. That situation didn't make any sense. But yeah, I think in general, like people are going to hold others to a higher standard now, which is good. It'll be good for all of us if that's the case. Yeah, as the Bible said, love your neighbor as yourself, and do unto others as you'd have them do to you.
Yeah,
and I think that last part is lost on a lot of people.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that's just where we need to get to.
I agree.
respect that, man.
Okay.
Do you want to wrap it off?
Yeah. In closing, just to reiterate my last point, with this type of stuff, your words won't convince me, your actions will. So focus on doing the work, and then you will get the retribution you are looking for. That's what I would say. Yeah, I think that about wraps it up. This has been Under the Arch. If you enjoyed the content, as per usual, like, comment. We want to get the engagement going, hear some opinions on what we've spoken about. And yeah, we'll be back for the next one.
And stop hitting my DMs, bruv. Like, just drop it in the comments. Just comments, not DMs, bruv.
Nah, we like the engagement there. Just drop it wherever.
Man.
Actually, that's one thing. So we will. If you do send in comments and commentary, we're gonna feature it in our next video.
Yeah.
Yes. You know what? Do that, because that way you can keep the DMs going. Because I look at the DM and I'm going, great. Why is this not in the video comments?
There you
Great.
go.
Why is that not in the video comments? And some of them are actually banging comments.
Yeah.
Banging comments.
Yep.
Some I understand, but some are banging comments.
Yep.
So yeah.
Put them in
So
the
if you're
comments.
following on Spotify, follow us. I don't know if you can like it or not.
Yep.
I'm confused. But like Jabonin says, Anyway, and then and then for Apple Podcasts, follow, hit the 5 stars, and give the 5-star rating. It helps us out a lot.
There you go. And search us Under the Arch. You'll be able to find us.
Under the Arch everywhere.
Do your searches.
And yeah, man, love and peace to everyone. Take care of yourselves.
Peace.